Hello traders, and welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to take a look at the currency market and see what's moving and what's not moving, and in terms of technical analysis, some potential ideas and levels to talk about. So Euro USD here looks like it wants to hold this area of support that we've been talking about. You can see that historically this zone has been pretty good at calling the buyers, kind of catching a buy in this zone, right? Well, we've retested this area and it looks like for now price wants to act bullishly. I've also drawn this trend line though to the downside where we could see price want to make a retracement back up to. This might be a level to look for on the short term. If you're a short term seller, there might be some opportunities there on a pullback. In fact, really quick, if we just drop it down to the 4-hour chart, we might even be able to see if there's some nice fib levels that we could draw here from the top to the bottom. I actually really like the idea here of this 38.2% retracement. You can see it lines up with our resistance level as well as some recent structure here. That's a pretty interesting little area. It might even line up nicely with the trend line going forward. That could actually be a nice little sell continuation trade setup that I myself might be considering into the future. So let's go ahead and move on to GBP USD here. Not too much to say here, but I will mention the fact that this channel, this back and forth kind of pattern that we've been seeing, may look like now it wants to try and break bullish. And if it does, if we get a nice little close here to the upside, I think that we see continuation potentially to this level as well as maybe even a break to this high. So those are kind of just levels that I'm personally watching here on pound USD. Now, next up is dollar yen here. Dollar yen, I really don't have too much to say on this. I don't want to force anything if I don't have something to say, but I will mention that we do have some levels to consider, which would be this level, oops, if I can hit it there, this level, maybe this structure here, right? So those are some levels that to me might be interesting. If price decides to make a movement down to something like this, there might be some short-term bullishness or bearishness up in these areas here to consider in your own analysis if we see some sort of movements on dollar yen going forward. XAU USD here continuing to hold the uptrend structure and looks like it even wants to try and break highs. You can see that it looks very bullish here. It looks like it wants to try and get back to this recent structure high here on XAU USD. We'll see if that decides to play out, but for the time being, my bias would be that we could see that retest of the structure high there on the gold movement. Brent crude is next, and you can see we did make it down just shy of this level here, and you can see now price looking very interesting, potentially to say, well, you know what, is this a bullish zone of support? My bias would be that I think we could see a bounce here on oil. Now, I could be wrong about that, of course, as I could be wrong about any technical analysis. There's no perfect setup or theory that's going to always be correct. But my idea here is based on the idea that historically we've had really good support, we've had really good demand in this zone, and that I think we could have the potential for a nice bounce off of these lows. Next up would be WTI crude, really the same concept. Don't want to kind of repeat myself there, but you do have this similar structure in terms of potential demand zone that could lead to some buy pressure in that general zone. Next up is Euro GBP. Euro GBP looking interesting because it looks like we want to retest this trend line here. Right? So nothing too sporadic, but it looks like we're just kind of retesting this trend line to see if we can catch enough bullishness to continue this kind of breakout that we're looking like, or if we're just going to fade and start to continue the downtrend structure. Dollar Swiss here looking interesting. You can see we came just shy of the 38.2 at that resistance level and dropped from there. Question will be, can we make a low movement back down to here? If price gets bearish, I think that the big level would be that bottom, that low structure, to see if price can break further and continue. We are currently testing this area here, right, to see if that level is going to hold as a resistance to push the next wave of sellers. Next up is Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is interesting right now because it is currently testing near all-time lows, or at least all-time lows in the last several months, several years even. Here on Aussie dollar, you can see price right around the 0.66808. This will be an interesting telltale sign to see if we can get that continuation of the overall trend. If we do break bearish, my bias here would be that we could see a break underneath, and if we do, right, there might be some continuation plays as fresh sellers come in to push this market potentially lower with all the bearishness going on with the Australian dollar. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you got something out of this video, and we will see you guys back next time.